Fun fact: without this one woman, European history might have looked completely different. Her name? Saint Begga. A noblewoman, a widow, a nun. And the grandmother of one of the most pivotal figures in medieval Europe, Charles Martel. You may know him as the warrior who stopped the Muslim advance at the Battle of Tours, but what about the woman whose lineage made his rise possible? Begga wasn't just a mother, she was a force of history, shaping the Frankish world in ways few recognize today. So who was she really? And how did her choices echo through time? Enjoying the adventure so far? Smash that like button, subscribe, share your thoughts, and drop a comment below. Also, follow me on Spotify, subscribe to my Patreon, support me on Buy Me a Coffee, and join me on Ko-Fi for more epic historical journeys. Born in 615 AD, Begga was no ordinary child. She was the daughter of Pepin of Landen, the mayor of the Palace of Austrasia, a man who held the true power behind the Frankish throne. In a world where alliances meant survival, noble daughters weren't just raised for privilege, they were groomed for influence. Every marriage, every decision, every heir mattered. And Begga's future was already mapped out long before she reached adulthood. She was to become a key figure in securing her family's dominance over the Frankish kingdom, ensuring that power remained in the hands of her bloodline. Marriage in medieval Europe wasn't about love, it was about strategy, about building alliances that could make or break entire kingdoms. For Begga, this meant wedding Ansegisel, the son of Saint Arnulf of Metz, a man whose lineage carried immense spiritual and political clout. Together, they formed a union that blended the military power of Austrasia with the sacred authority of the Church. This marriage wasn't just a family affair, it was a calculated move to secure control over the Frankish aristocracy. But fate has a way of changing even the best-laid plans. Tragedy struck when Ansegisel was murdered under mysterious circumstances. Some accounts suggest it was a political assassination, an attempt to break the powerful ties between the ruling families, while others whisper of an unresolved feud. Whatever the cause, Begga suddenly found herself a widow in a world where power was fragile, and noblewomen without protection could quickly become pawns in the games of men. But rather than fading into obscurity or remarrying for safety, she made a bold choice, one that would cement her influence far beyond the confines of the court. Instead of seeking another political match, Begga turned to faith. But make no mistake, this wasn't simply a retreat from the world. By founding the Abbey of Andenne, she wasn't just dedicating herself to religion, she was securing a lasting legacy. The Abbey would become a center of faith and education, a sanctuary for women seeking purpose beyond marriage. In an era where female autonomy was rare, this was a revolutionary act. Begga's influence now stretched beyond bloodlines and politics, she was shaping the spiritual and intellectual heart of her people for generations to come. Begga's influence didn't stop at the convent walls. Through her son, Pepin of Herstal, she became the grandmother of Charles Martel, the man who would go down in history as the savior of Christendom after his victory at the Battle of Tours. Without Begga, there is no Charles Martel. And without Charles Martel, the rise of Charlemagne, the father of Europe, would have been impossible. This single woman's bloodline shaped the destiny of a continent, proving that behind the great warriors and emperors of history, there often stands a mother, a matriarch, a legacy builder who ensured their rise. But Begga's impact wasn't just political, it may have sparked something far more unexpected. Some historians believe that her community in Andenne laid the early foundations for the Beguines, a remarkable movement of Christian women in the Middle Ages who lived in religious devotion without taking formal vows. In a time when women's choices were limited to marriage or convent life, the Beguines dared to carve out a third path, one of faith, service, and independence. If true, Begga's influence didn't just shape kings and battles, it may have quietly revolutionized women's roles in medieval society. Over the centuries, Begga was canonized as a saint, venerated in both the Catholic and Orthodox traditions. Her feast day, December 17th, serves as a reminder of a woman who was not just a noble, not just a mother, but a force that shaped the spiritual and political world of medieval Europe. From royal courts to sacred halls, from battlefields to abbeys, her legacy endures. She was a widow who refused to be silenced, a matriarch whose bloodline built an empire, and a woman whose quiet power still echoes through history. How many other unsung women like her shaped the world we know today? Now tell me, had you heard of Saint Begga before today? Or did this fun fact surprise you? Let's talk in the comments. Who are some other forgotten figures from history that deserve the spotlight? Let me know. And if you love uncovering the hidden stories of the past, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. There's so much more history waiting to be rediscovered. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this video. Also, follow me on Spotify, subscribe to my Patreon, support me on Buy Me a Coffee, and join me on Ko-Fi. Let's honor our history, learn from its lessons, and inspire a brighter future together.